During World War II, while the world's attention was fixed on Europe, another story, far darker, was unfolding in a frozen corner of northern China. It wasn't a military base, it wasn't a research center, it was something else. A place whose true purpose remained buried for decades. A place historians would later call the Factory of Death. But what exactly happened inside its walls? Why were thousands of documents burned before the war ended? And how is it possible that even today part of the truth is still hidden? This is the story of Unit 731. Hello, I'm Desmo. Welcome to Beyond the Evidence channel. If you want to make your nights mysterious and scary, this is the right place. So please subscribe to me and like this video and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out. Let's go. In the early 1930s, after Japan seized Manchuria, its leaders had one goal: to build an empire that could not be defeated. To achieve that, they needed a new kind of power, something the world had never seen. On the outskirts of Harbin, amid endless snowfields, a massive compound with tall concrete walls, barbed wire, and guard towers was built. Its official name sounded harmless: the Quantum Army Epidemic Prevention and Water Supply Department. But behind closed doors, Japan's military scientists were working on something that could only be described with one word: control. Control over life and death. At the center of it all stood one man, Shiro Ishii, a brilliant scientist, a skilled physician, and a man who believed that science must never be limited by ethics. Ishii told his officers, to win the wars of the future, we need weapons that require no bullets. Under him, young researchers, ambitious doctors, and lawyer officers worked night and day. Many believed they were pioneers, that they were building the future of warfare. What they didn't know was that history would remember this project as Japan's darkest stain. Inside the compound, the atmosphere was suffocating. Long corridors, steel doors, cold rooms with no windows, and laboratories that always smelled of chemicals. And in the center of the facility, the structure everyone feared: the Black Building. Soldiers whispered that whoever entered it never came back out. Guards rotated constantly, scientists were escorted everywhere, and no one asked questions. Yet the strangest thing of all was the silence. A silence so heavy, even the wind of Manchuria felt it. Officially, Unit 731 was created to study disease and public health, but actually we worked with unofficial news and anything the truth. Hidden in coded documents, the true objective had a name: Project A. It focused on materials not meant for healing, but for something far more destructive. Experiments on insects, animal transmission, airborne spread, and new techniques of biological warfare became the core of Ishii's vision. The idea was terrifying: a weapon that could wipe out a city without ever firing a single shot. Documents were typed, generals approved, field tests were carried out, but the exact details never appeared in any courtroom. Most of them disappeared with the smoke of burning files in 1945. Years after the war, retired soldiers began telling stories. One guard said, We didn't know what was happening inside, but every day trucks went in. They never came out with the same cargo. Another recalled, once I heard something like banging, then silence. The silence so deep, you can hear your own heartbeat. Thousands of documents were destroyed in the final days of the war. What survived were blurry photos, strange medical reports, and decades of unanswered questions. When the war ended, the world expected trials, justice, accountability. But instead, something unbelievable happened. The entire Unit 731 case vanished. No mass trials, no convictions, nothing. But why? I tell you. Because the United States, seeking biological warfare knowledge, offered the Japanese scientists full immunity in exchange for their research. In the other words, yeah, the truth was purchased and then locked away. Many of those documents are still classified to this day. Today, the ruins of Unit 731 have been turned into a museum. Visitors walk through reconstructed hallways, standing rooms that once held secrets the world was never meant to know. Guides said that sometimes, in this certain part of the building, you can hear faint tapping sounds. Not loud, not clear, just enough to make you turn your head. Some say it's just the old structure settling. Others believe something else. Where truth is buried, shadows remain. Unit 731 remains one of the darkest chapters of World War II. A story filled with missing documents, silent witnesses, and unanswered questions. What was truth? What was covered up? And why, after 80 years, are many files still hidden? Maybe the real answers are still buried somewhere in the frozen ground of Manchuria. Or maybe the world simply isn't ready to know.